Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Arnaldo and this is Articulture. Today I have for you easiest houseplants to grow. So I have some amazing examples of plants that are actually really easy to grow in your house, in your homes. So I think that before I actually start showing you plants and giving you examples of the plants that are easy to grow, I want to give you a super important tip. I think that the most important tip would be not to impulse buy when you are shopping, when you're shopping for houseplants. Impulse buying, do not impulse buy, especially if you are not familiar with the plant and what its needs are and the growing and the type of plant. Impulse plant shopping will result in discouraging results. From losing the plant, from the plant dying. By purchasing easy growing plants, you will feel encouraged to grow more plants due to your success with growing plants. Always see what the needs of your plant are before you purchase. So the needs of your plant, actually when you're plant shopping, most of the plants come with a little information tag. Most of them do come with the tag, and it'll tell you what the lighting and water and the size of the plant. That's a really important thing. The size of the plant, like how big is the plant going to get? So if where you're thinking of placing the plant, if it's going to get too large and then you're not really going to have a place to put it, and then it may end up dying. So because you're going to move it into a spot where it's not going to get the appropriate lighting it needs, and it's not going to flourish and grow and be beautiful. So the needs of the plant, the appropriate environment is super important. So is the plant going to get the appropriate amount of light that it needs to grow? So the plants come with these tags, and these tags are super helpful because it tells you the watering and how much it needs to be watered, how often it needs to be watered. If the plant wants the soil to be dry. So these are super helpful. It tells you whether or not the plant likes a lot of water or not. And then also the light and the space that you need to grow the plant. This one even tells you turning the plant around weekly for uniform growth of the plant. And that's a really important thing, because like this taneki right here, I always have to be turning her because she always goes towards the sun. It grows towards the sun because it's reaching for the light. So if you want your plant to look its best, for it to look straight and look beautiful, you do have to turn it. You have to turn it so that you can continue to keep the plant in a vertical fashion and looking its best. So yeah, that's an important thing too. So watering. Like for instance, Hoyas. Hoyas don't like to be watered that often, and they don't like to sit in wet soil, but they're an easy growing plant. So you definitely want to make sure watering is the most important thing, and how often it needs to be watered. Because if you miss a watering, a plant can die, and if you overwater it, a plant can die. And actually, the number one reason people kill their plants, people kill their houseplants, is by overwatering. Overwatering is the main downfall of most plants and the success with having plants. And I would say that especially for orchids. I think that most people don't realize that the orchid does not really want to be watered that often, and a lot of times the orchids come in these little pots where they don't have drainage, and they don't even have drainage hole, and they're for decorative purposes, and then you put them in your home and they're actually getting air conditioning, which they don't like, and then they sit in water and they rot. The roots rot, and then the plants start declining. And then what people do is when they see that the plant is declining, they think the plant needs more water, and then they give it more water, and then definitely not success. And I think that, orchids are definitely a difficult plant to grow. So I'm not having that on the easiest growing plant video, because I myself, from experience, have killed many orchids, but now having great success with them. And it becomes an easier process once you really understand your plants and give them what they need. Okay, so I think I'll start over here with the Hoya. Hoyas are easy plants to grow because number one, you don't have to water them often, and they're succulent, so they hold water in the leaves and they can withstand going for a period of time without getting watered. Because they retain the water themselves, so they hold the water in the leaves, and they look always beautiful. That's what I love about Hoyas, is because, and you find this out when you grow Hoyas, or if you are growing Hoyas, you already notice that a lot of plants, when you don't water them, or that's just the way that they grow, they start losing leaves, or the leaves start getting brown on the edges and they start looking bad, and then the plant doesn't look its best. And Hoyas never do that. Hoyas, the leaves always look the same. They always look great. And one super really amazing thing that I don't think most people actually realize is that you can have a plant, Hoya, for decades, even up to like 100 years. I know people that have grown them for decades, and they always look great. They just keep growing. They look beautiful, and even the leaves that are years old don't decay and start looking bad. So I mean, obviously I love Hoyas. Hoyas are like my favorite, but yeah, they're amazing. And actually, even sometimes a little neglect on the Hoya with the water could be really good. It could actually even promote it can promote blooms. It can promote the plant thinking that it's dying, and then it's going to give you blooms. But I highly don't recommend to neglect your plant, because yeah, that's not the way I like to grow my plants. Okay, so the next plant I want to talk about is the ponytail palm. Ponytail palm. Ponytail palm is a really easy plant to grow and really beautiful, and I have one here that I absolutely love. And take a look at her. She's spectacular. She is visually stunning, and actually that's what the ponytail palms are. They're a visually stunning plant to have in your homes. So interesting things about the ponytail palm. Ponytail palm is neither a palm nor is it a tree, and it is actually a member of the agave family, and it's actually a succulent. So it has this trunk that holds the water in it, and that's why you don't really have to water it very often. So the trunk stores the water. So that makes it it facilitates for it being a really easy plant to have and easy to care for, and it's great for beginners and experienced growers as well. So yeah, ponytail palm, I highly recommend them. Okay, so the next plant I want to talk about is the Ficus taneki, and actually this one right here is the Ficus ruby. The Ficus taneki is beautiful with its green, white, and pink leaves. I think right now in all of my plants that I have, because this one is growing so beautifully, I think it's my #1 plant right now in my whole collection. I love it. It's beautiful. It makes a beautiful statement in your house and adds a beautiful pop of color. So the Ficus taneki is actually beginner friendly. It's a really easy plant to take care of, and that's why I'm including it today. You have to do understand one thing, that the ficus is actually a tree, and you have to keep in mind the size. This plant will keep growing. It's not going to stay small. It's going to keep growing, and you will have to eventually change the pot and put it into a larger pot. So really important is it needs to be in well draining soil. You need to let the soil dry out before you water it again, and it loves bright indirect light. So make sure that you have it in a place where it's going to get a lot of light, but not direct sun, because it can burn the leaves. And it's a beautiful plant because it's also a succulent. It has the succulent type leaves, and it's also called the variegated rubber tree plant. I definitely recommend including this one into your collection. Okay guys, the next plant that I have for you is the Dracaena. Dracaena needs very little care, and there are over 100 species available. Can tolerate low light, likes to be watered, but definitely don't overwater. It's a plant that's easy to propagate and adds variety to your houseplant collection. And I have a couple of them for you here. This little cutie here is the white jewel. And this beautiful one is the lemon lime. And look at the beautiful bright colors on that. And this is actually one that I've propagated. Okay guys, so the last plant that I have for you today is the money tree. Money may not grow on trees, but the money tree plant delivers good fortune and positive energy, or so the legend goes. The money tree is a tropical plant that prefers indirect light. Too much sunlight can actually burn the leaves, so remember to rotate your plant for even growing. It's a plant that does like to be watered, so if you like to water your plants often, it's one that will appreciate it. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video and you have an idea of beautiful plants that are easy to grow that you can have in your houseplant collection. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next episode.